All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to tonight. We are going to do the third section of the reading. We're taking a look at the practice test. So we're taking the concept and skills that we looked at on Monday night, and now we're going to apply them to some practice questions. As we get started, here's a couple great resources to share with you guys. If you are interested in more practice questions after tonight, make sure to check out the Q Bank. This has tons of different questions for all of the sections, and with those questions, you also get rationales. The on-demand videos are going to give you a little bit more of a deep dive into specific topics that you might need to focus on, and you can really customize it by using the timestamps to go straight to the topic you need to focus on. It also includes notes and cheat sheets. And then if you are interested in tutoring, make sure to check out this link. If you are looking for an English or a reading time and you do not see a time that works for you, make sure to check out my email address right here, and you can email me directly so we can get you scheduled. If you're looking for a discount on either one of those, check out SurePass or SurePass Pro. So what those do is SurePass is going to give you a discount on bundling the QBank questions and the on-demand videos together. So by bundling those both, you save a little bit of money. And then with SurePass Pro, maybe you're interested in all three, QBank, on-demand videos, and tutoring. So that's going to give you a free tutoring session as well. All right. If you're not following us on socials, make sure to check out our Instagram. Some of you are already up there. Facebook, TikTok, email. Our socials, we typically will post practice questions, practice videos, tips and tricks. And again, if you're interested in tutoring, make sure to check out our QR links here. All right. Any questions before we get started? All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get rolling with our practice questions. So tonight we are taking a look at the third section of the reading, as I mentioned. This section has four subsections. So what we'll do is we'll break down the questions based off each individual subsection. So 3.1, we're going to go back and look at inferences, making predictions, drawing conclusions. 3.2, we're going to take a look at themes. 3.3, we're going to analyze arguments. And 3.4, we're going to look at different visuals and how to answer questions based off those. All right, so since no one has any questions, we're going to get started with 3.1, making predictions, inferences, drawing conclusions. So remember for this section, as you're going through your questions, reference the material from the source if you're trying to support a prediction, reference to the material to support your interpretations of what the author's trying to say, and then make sure you use the information provided to you to draw a conclusion. Now, as a reminder, one of the tips we talked about on Monday night was treating the answer options as if they're yes or no questions. If you can answer yes, then it's an inference. If you answer no, then it is not. All right, so take a look at this one. What I'm going to do with these, since there's quite a bit of reading, I'm going to give you a couple seconds, let you read, and then we'll come back and check them together. All right, so take about 45 seconds, read this paragraph, answer the question, and then we'll come back and see if you're right. All right, so let's come back together and take a look at the correct answer. So for this one, which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Okay, so from this passage, we hear about we meet Maria. We see that C would be our answer. Good job. Now, did you use the yes or no? Did that help you out? All right, let's take a look at this one. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the timer. See how you do with this one. All right, just a few more seconds left on that one. All right, let's come back and check it. So the correct answer for this one is A. EVs are expected to play a key role in reducing environmental pollution. So based off the information provided, this is an inference we can make. The other ones, there's not information that supports it or it states the opposite. All right, let's take a look at this one. 45 seconds on the timer. Nope, 30, sorry. 30 seconds on the timer. Ready and go. All right, there's our timer. So for this one, the inferences that could be made, or the inference that could be made, was B. Awesome. Any questions so far? Alrighty. Let's take a look at this one. 30 seconds on our timer. Ready and go. All right. And there's our time. So which of the following can be inferred? It is A for this one. Organic farming reduces the use of synthetic chemicals in agriculture. All right. Any questions on this one? All right. Let's try this one. We'll put 30 seconds on the timer. Ready, go. All right, there's our timer. And our correct answer is C. The transition to renewable energy involves both progress and challenges. So we see that up here with they produce little dissociates. Nevertheless, some obstacles remain. So that transition right there is very important to see the difference. All right, well, that's our practice with 3.1. We'll move on into 3.2. So this section, we're comparing and contrasting themes. Remember, themes are those abstract thoughts. We're looking for a common subject matter. All right, so take a look at this one and put 30 seconds on the timer. Ready, and go. All right, there's our timer. So for this poem by Emily Dickinson, Because I Could Not Stop for Death, this excerpt, how does the author illustrate the theme of the poem? So this is done through the use of personification. We see that death, this abstract thought, is being treated as if it were a person who stopped for her. All right, any questions on that one? All right, now take a look at this poem by Emily Dickinson. Take 30 seconds and answer that one. All right, there's our timer. And the correct answer for this one, what's the main theme of this poem? It is C. Hope is constant and uplifting presence within us. So, the hope is the thing with feathers. So feathers, what did they do? They rise up. All right, now let's take a look at these. These we can talk about. We don't need to set a timer. What is the primary role of the setting in a story? Is it A, introducing the main characters, B, pushing the sequence of events, C, provide the context and atmosphere, or D, resolve conflict and conclude the narrative? What would you say? All right, let's check your answers. C, it provides the context and the atmosphere. So the setting is the time, the place, the location. Where's the story taking place at? So with that, what is the primary role of the narration within a story? Is it A, to introduce characters in the setting? Is it B, develop the central conflict? C, tell the story and provide perspective? Or D, resolve the conflict and conclude the narrative? What would you say? All right, so the correct answer for this one is C. It's going to tell the story and provide perspective. So narration is all about how the story is being told or the telling of the story itself. All right. Now, actually, I'm going to go back just to do a quick recap. Introduction of the characters and the setting, that would be the exposition. Don't forget that. The development of the central conflict, so that would be the rising action. Resolve the conflict, that would be the falling action or the resolution. The resolution would conclude the narrative. Now, back on this question, introducing, that's the exposition. pushing the sequence of events. So that would be the plot. Don't forget that one. All right. Now with 3.3, we're going to analyze an argument. So for this one, you want to think about what are the claims, what are the counterclaims, so what are the opposites. You want to evaluate the evidence to determine if it's relevant or does it support an argument. Compare the text from different sources, evaluate primary versus secondary, we talked about that, and then look for false or misleading information. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Read the sentence and answer the question. The last person who won the lottery ended up bankrupt and homeless. Winning the lottery must in fact be a curse. What fallacy is being committed in this sentence? Would you say it's an ad hominem fallacy? Is it a hasty generalization, circular reasoning, or D, appeal to authority? Remember these fallacies we talked about on Monday. All right, take another couple seconds. All right, so for this one, the last person who won the lottery ended up bankrupt and homeless. So the lottery must be a curse. This is a hasty generalization that all winners are cursed. Okay, and just a quick recap, ad hominem fallacy, that's when you're attacking the individual, not the side of the argument that they stand on, and not their argument. Circular reasoning is pretty much when you just say the same thing, whatever your claim is, that's what you say it again as your support. You don't really say anything new to back it up. Appeal to authority would be, Shaquille O'Neal is backing and promoting Papa John's. All right, so take a look at this one then. So read the sentence, answer the question. Of course, you promote Small Business Saturday. You own a clothing boutique. What fallacy is being committed here? Is it ad hominem fallacy, hasty generalization, circular reasoning, or appeal to authority? All right, so remember, we're talking to who? Oops, I went too far. We're directly attacking you because you promote Small Business Saturday. Your argument is that you're promoting Small Business Saturday, but you're pretty much just pocketing from it yourself. So that would be an attack on the individual, ad hominem fallacy. All right, here's a very short passage because, we don't have very much room on the screen. But take a look at this paragraph and then tell what the primary claim is. All right, I'm going to put 45 seconds on the timer just because this one's a little bit longer. All right, ready, steady, and go. All right, there's our timer. So for this one, we're looking at education. The primary claim here is C. Equal access to education creates a more just and equitable society. All right. So by ensuring equal access to education, we create a more just, there's the claim being presented in the last sentence. All right. Any questions? Oh, now be careful. Access to quality education is a fundamental right that should be provided to every individual, regardless of their socioeconomic background. While this one does look at like a primary claim, It is not the primary claim. It's being used as an introductory detail to introduce the topic in which they're going to talk about. So they're saying by ensuring, so this is taking everything that they just used as their details and then providing the statement at the very end. Does that help? All right, let's take a look at 3.4. We're moving right along tonight unless anybody has any questions. Oh, you're welcome. All right. So with 3.4, we're looking at different data sources. So we're going to jump right on in. Remember, we talked about tips and tricks and things to keep in mind when you look at them. So based off this chart right here, what trend is shown in the graph above? All right. Is it A, electric car sales remain constant between 2018 and 2022? B, electric car sales decreased every year? C, electric car sales increased significantly each year? Or D, electric car sales peaked in 2019 and then declined? Take a few seconds and give me your answer. All right, let's take a look. And it was C. Electric car sales increased significantly each year. So we can see that they jumped up here, they jumped up here, they really took off there. All right, so nothing ever stayed constant, so it wasn't A. They'd never decreased, so it wasn't B. And they didn't peak and then decline, so they never declined, so D couldn't be an answer option either. All right, let's take a look at this one. What age group spends the most time on screens each day according to the graph? Is it A, 8 to 12, B, 13 to 18, C, 30 to 44, or D, 45 to 60? All right, the correct answer is B, 13 to 18. So this one had the highest right here. All right, and then last one up. Which of the following best describes the relationship between the inputs and outputs in a photosynthesis as shown in the diagram? Is it A, sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide are used by the plant to create oxygen and energy? B, oxygen, water, and carbon dioxide combine to form sunlight? C, water and oxygen are absorbed through the plant's roots to create glucose? Or D, carbon dioxide and oxygen are both released by the plant as waste products? What would you say? All right, let's take a look. The correct answer for this one was A. Sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide are used by the plant to create oxygen and energy. So we can see through the arrows, the sunlight's going in, the carbon dioxide's going in, the oxygen comes out, the water comes out. All right, so any questions on that one? All right, anybody want to circle back to anything? Let's see some more people joining in now. Hello there, Instagram. All right, any questions on any of the practice questions we did tonight? All right then. Well, I guess we've done about 4 to 5 questions per topic. So we can call it a night unless anybody has any last questions before we go. You're welcome. Tonight was a speed round, so we'll be on break next week, but then I'll be back the week after that. But all right, well, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna stick around for another minute or so. But if you have any questions, let me know. If you don't, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. A happy holiday, safe holiday next week. And then we'll be back the week after that. All right. Well, you guys have a great night, okay? All right. Bye, y'all.